This chip in my hand is going to trigger the next World War III in the Pacific. And no, I'm not joking. This small piece of silicon is 3 nanometers short, but it powers an F-35 jet, a nuclear missile, and an iPhone from which you are watching this video on.
What about Android users?
Yeah, Android user too. And only one company in the whole world has the technology to make it, but that company might not exist in future. TSMC is situated on a tiny island called Taiwan, which is smaller than West Virginia, but it's account to have almost 90% of the world's most advanced chip production. They manufacture chips so small that a human hair might be even 30,000 times thicker than their chip. And that type of precision makes Apple, Nvidia, Anthropic as their customer, because although they have the money and the technology to make the chips, they can't actually manufacture it. And nobody else on earth except for TSMC can manufacture chips at scale while ensuring zero room for any error. Intel and Samsung had tried to make chips with utmost precision, but they are still a generation behind. And while having that kind of monopoly, TSMC generated over $120 billion in 2025 annually. And this single company is almost half of the Taiwan whole stock market. If Taiwan is this important, you would think it should be safe. Because if the whole world depends on the Taiwanese chip, then nobody should want a war over there. But this is where the story turns. Taiwan is not only an island that manufactures chips. For China, Taiwan is an unfinished history. After the Chinese Civil War broke out in 1945, the Communist Party of China and Republic of China, they both fought a very brutal war for the control of China. When the Civil War ended, the Communist Party of China took the control of the mainland China. The losing side, Republic of China, had no choice but to escape to Taiwan. From that point forward, Beijing and the whole world follows the idea of one China policy, which basically is there is only one China in the whole world and Taiwan is a part of it. So on paper, the world agrees to one China policy, but in reality, Taiwan has its own army, its own economy, and its own flag. But Chinese President Xi Jinping had made the promise for the reunification of Taiwan in less than a year and told its people and its military to be ready. So it's not a matter of will China attack Taiwan or not, it's a matter of when China would attack. Taiwan cannot stay outside Beijing control forever, and that is certain, just like the Hong Kong was. So if China takes Taiwan, it doesn't just take an island, it finishes an old political wound. It gets the access of the complete Pacific and it sits on the place that produces over 90% of the world's most advanced chips. But wait, the reunification won't be that easy. While I was researching for this video, one simple question aroused in my mind. If China wants Taiwan and by taking over it, it gets so much advantages, then why hasn't it took it? Surely America is one of the reason, but there is also one more important factor that is not allowing China to invade Taiwan even if they want to. And that specific reason also saved Britain in World War II from getting invaded by Hitler. And it is the geography. You can be more advanced in military, technology, in missile, but you can't actually change your geography. The geography plays a quite vital role. Even though Hitler captured all of the Europe, he was still unable to capture Britain because of the rough sea of English Channel. And that same phenomena is present in the east. The Taiwan Strait is 80 miles long and there is constant rough sea. And there are only two short windows when the sea is only calm. A few weeks around April and a few weeks around October. So if China decided to cross the sea, instead among those seasons, they would meet with 20 feet high waves, and if they get ship past through that weather, only 10% of Taiwan entire coastline beaches are wide enough and deep for the ships to land. And Taiwan has already identified those areas. They call them the red beaches. The natural barriers are only a small problem that China need to face, but after landing on those beaches, they need to face the Taiwanese Navy, the military, because sitting behind those beaches is a military that is backed by the most powerful navy in the world. Every ship China sends across is being tracked, the movement is being watched, and China would have to move its soldiers, supplies, ammunition, food, etc. All of those supplies through that open water while facing the Taiwanese military, mines, aircraft, submarines. And even if Chinese troops land on the coast, that is not the end of the war. It is only the beginning. Because Taiwan is not a flat island waiting to be taken. Much of it is covered by gigantic mountains which are 5 times taller than the Burj Khalifa. So even after China sets up its position on the coast, they still need continuous reinforcement coming across that same dangerous strait. And if Taiwan target those supply, the troops that have landed on the coast could easily become trapped. This is why Taiwan does not need to defeat China everywhere. It only needs to make the invasion so costly that Beijing somehow realizes that is this invasion worth the price? We have already seen this in Ukraine-Russia war, where a tiny country had trapped a bigger power in a long and expensive conflict. And Taiwan is even trickier because China may not have many powerful countries openly helping its invasion, while Taiwan could receive the support from the United States and America network of allies, for example like Japan, Philippines and South Korea. So taking Taiwan is not like taking a land across a border. It is crossing water, climbing mountains, protecting supply lines and calculating America at the same time. And that is why China can threaten Taiwan, surround Taiwan and pressure Taiwan. But taking Taiwan is a completely different gamble. But let's say China beats all of it and the communist flag goes up over the Taipei, even then the China loses because the fabs it just captured has a kill switch built inside them and the control of those chips is in the hands of Netherlands. The machine inside the TSMC fabs are built by a Dutch company called ASML. These machines need constant software support from the abroad just to keep them running. And once you stop the software, the machine stop working and ASML could do that remotely anytime. The moment the first Chinese soldier steps onto the ground, the most advanced factories on earth turns into a metal scrap.